last time I was up here, I told some really sad stories. Here's the continuation. You know, you find out what things are after you leave the military. So now it makes sense what I was saying when I was doing them. So in the Army, they go, huh. I had no idea what that meant. They said something, you say, huh. Just, they left you alone. So this is what it means. How to look it up. It means referring to or meaning anything and everything except no. Huh. What to say when you're lost in a word? Huh? Good copy, Roger. Solid copy. Good, great, message received, understood, acknowledged, glad to meet you, welcome. Huh? Alright. Huh? I don't know the answer, but I'll check on it. Or I haven't the foggiest. Huh? I'm not listening. Huh? That's enough of your dribble. Sit down. Huh? Yes. Huh? You've got to be kidding me. Huh? Thank you. Huh? You've taken the correct action. Huh? You don't know what it means, but you're too embarrassed to ask for clarification. Huh? Yeah. Military to English dictionary. Alright. I've heard these. I didn't know what it meant. Now I do. Gone Elvis. Missing in action. Latrinogram. Unfound error. Moo juice. Milk. Repeaters. Beans and cabbage. That's what I learned after. No idea what they're talking about. Self-loading cargo. Passengers on a transport aircraft. Stupid o'clock. Ridiculously early in the morning. I was wondering, it was like, get up at stupid o'clock. I'm like, okay. Oh. Voluntold. An optional event that one is actually required to go. Had a lot of those. Didn't like that. Okay. So I told you the issue about me, you know, getting stuck in a Jeep or taking the major Jeep back and all this and that. Well, I got back and they were doing these exercises, really weird exercises that I was unaware of. A quarter-mile away were these payphones. So we had to run to these payphones. He'd tell us what to yell at and call these numbers. And he says, all right, so you're going to call Mickey Mouse. You run a quarter of a mile, pick up the telephone, yell Mickey Mouse, hang it up, and run back. Called exercise. I don't know. But I didn't know that's what you're supposed to do. So I get over there and I get ordered to call the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I go, Sergeant? He goes, you heard what I said? Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. So I ran, went to the phone booth, sat down, got the operator to say, hey, I got to talk to Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Now, the drill sergeant is fuming. Apparently I'm supposed to run back, you know. And I didn't know that. So they look it up and they found out Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, you know, it was in the movie Ghostbusters, owned by Universal Studios. So I'm calling Universal Studios. The operator feels bad for me knowing I'm in, you know, boot camp. So, go ahead, you know, put them through. So they put it through, and I'm talking to some head wig at Universal Studios saying I'm supposed to call you, and I guess, great job, thank you. Love the movie. Well, I get back, drill sergeant screaming at me, yelling at me, what are you doing? I said, I called what you told me to call, you know. I don't know what you want, it's kind of stupid. And, you know, I'm doing push-ups again anyway. 3 days later, they get a telegram. Universal Studio appreciates the U.S. Army support. So, jokes on that one. Now, I can't make a bed to save my life. In the Army, you have to make your bed and this and that. So I had my battle buddy make my bed for me, so it always looks good because he can make a bed. But they wouldn't want you to sleep in your bed because, you know, you sleep on top of it or next to it or so you don't mess it up. But they want you to mess it up. So what they would do is they put like coins in there underneath or so, right? And so I checked for these coins because I knew I heard this. They checked to see if you ripped up the covers. So they would put like a penny in there. If the penny's still in there, you didn't sleep in your bed. Well, I found a quarter in mine. And I was like, wow, I got a quarter. Everyone's got like pennies. Did he run out? So I left him a note and said, you know, I didn't lose a tooth, but thanks. There was no more money in my bed. Yeah, so we're lining up the next, you know, one day, and he said, all right, you idiots, fall out. So I stand there, because, you know, I'm not an idiot, and everyone leaves, he looks at me, what's wrong with you? I said, aren't they a bunch of morons? he goes, "What, you some kind of goddamn genius?" I go, "Yes, Sergeant." He goes, "Wait right there." And he goes back and, takes a second, comes back with a big file. He goes, "Yeah, you are. Good job." All right, you got the rest of the day yourself. I'm like, "Yes, I'm free." So I leave. Now, I didn't know the rest of the day for myself was a joke. So I'm out and I'm gone. I'm like, whew, free day. So, I missed some training exercise, but I'll tell you about that in a second. So I'm by the PX. I have no idea, where you go grocery shopping. And this captain comes by and he's got a $5 bill. He goes, "Hey, soldier, you got change for $5?" I go, "Yeah, sure thing I do." And he goes, "You stand up, you say it properly, I'm a captain, blah, blah, blah." He starts yelling at me. He goes, "Try it again. Bro, you have change for $5. I'm like, "No, sir." Whatever. So, I go back with the quarter he gave me. I got myself a soda. And I go back, and there's the head sergeant come up to me, and sergeant, and he goes, "I didn't see you at camouflage training this morning." I said, "Yeah, that's the point, right?" I didn't even show up. That was good. All right. Just drill sergeant screaming at me. "What were you in civilian life? What were you in civilian life, soldier?" I said, "Happy." All right. So when I left, after boot camp, I actually lost 100 pounds in 2 months, and they were gonna keep me there, and because they were giving me IVs, they thought, "Oh no, he's, because I'm looking at food and I'm throwing up and everything." So they're like, and I said, "I gotta leave because I have to get home." He said, "You're not going home. You're going to AIT." I said, "No, I'm not. I'm gonna go home. I'm going to college." He said, "You're going to college? Oh, go ahead. You go home. You get the freshman 80. The freshman 15? Nuh-uh. I gained 80 pounds right away." I was like, "Step home, boom, I'm in college." I moved right back up. But I lost 100 pounds, so the Army does make you lose weight. I lost that, I gained 20 pounds when Mary Beth got pregnant. But now here's the thing. Because I didn't go to AIT, AIT is the advanced training that you do after basic training. I would do it next summer after that because I was going to college. The paperwork got messed up. So I had these orders that wasn't allowed to open. They said, "Under penalty, blah, blah, don't open." So I was like, okay, they'll contact me. 3 weeks later, I get a letter in the mail saying, "I'm AWOL." And that if I don't show up, they're going to, if time of peace, it's 10 years in prison. Time of war, I get shot. I'm like, they still shoot people? So, okay. So now my parents are taking this thing seriously. And I'm like, yeah, I think I would too. And so they call the congressman, who called the Pentagon, and a one-star general shows up to our home, right? And it was like, whatever, I don't know anything about rank, and apparently a one-star general is still a general. And so he takes me in his car, and we go up to Fort Hamilton in Brooklyn. Apparently the highest-ranking person at Fort Hamilton is a colonel, a low colonel. And here comes this general, the pop and circumstance come by. And so when I walk on, I'm like, "Who's this guy?" It's like, he's my uncle. And from then on, I never had a problem. Whatever I wanted, apparently, if one-star general's your uncle, issue solved. So I had a piece of cake. It was, when I say piece of cake, I mean, I actually had cake. It was really awesome. Getting in the Army was really fun. I became a food taste tester. I went to restaurants. I had the time of my life. I drove in a tank just for fun because there was snow outside. I mean, no one wanted to bother me because this one-star general, apparently it was my uncle who I made up. It was the biggest joke. So, since I can do anything I want, I said to myself, "You know what? I'm studying in college." I said, "I'm going to go off to Germany and study over there." So I was like, "I'm going." And they're like, "All right, we'll find someone over there." So I'm like, "I meet a unit over in Germany," and we start having a blast. So I went to Fort McNair in Berlin, and while I was there, I went to the Goethe Institute, and I said, I'm going to learn German. I said, "Hey, why not? I'll take a translator course. I could be a translator, translate for the Army." And the questionnaire, to fill out said, "How long has your present employer been in business?" "Since 1776.
75, actually.
History fight! I thought it was.
I'll tell you too. I didn't give a shit. I didn't give a shit. I was like, "Why are you asking me?" I was like, okay, so the river outside of Germany, next to Poland, the Oder River was actually, overflowing. So they asked the base to come over there and bring sandbags. So they bring sandbags. I'm going to help sandbag the river because they didn't have these levees back then and whatever. And so these are big fucking sandbags. And all these, professional soldiers, I mean, I'm impressed with them, are carrying these 2 big sandbags and this and that. And, I'm carrying one. And this one sergeant, first sergeant, and I'll talk about him in a moment. This one first sergeant is screaming at me. I don't understand what he's saying. And I found out he was asking me, why am I only taking one while everyone else is taking 2 sandbags? And I said, because they're more lazy than me. I'm willing to make more than one trip. Yeah, and then I found out the sergeant, I was going to be his translator to the local population. Okay, let me tell you about this first sergeant. First Sergeant Beauregard from Louisiana. Oh yeah. First of all, I couldn't understand him. This was a problem. He would say things like, I'm like, what the hell was that? Right? Okay, so let me tell you about this guy, Beauregard. He is related to General P.G.T. Beauregard.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, military officer. This guy was a politician, inventor, writer, civil servant, first prominent general of the Confederate States of America during the Civil War, commonly referred to as G.T. Beauregard. Trained as a civil engineer in the United States Military Academy, served with distinction as an engineer in the Mexican-American War, followed a brief appointment at West Point in 1861. After the South succeeded, he resigned from the U.S. Army, became the first Brigadier General of the Confederate States of America, commanded the defense of Charleston, South Carolina at the start of the Civil War at Fort Sumter on April 12, 1861. 3 months later, he won the first Battle of Bull Run near Manassas, Virginia. This is his great-great-great-grandson.
Wow.
Yeah, this guy was a loser. Holy crap, this guy fell. I was like, what happened? He's missing teeth, this, that. I was like, boy, the Confederacy got hit real bad. Holy crap. Yeah. No, it was bad. So, I had to translate for him, right? Because I spoke German. Well, my German was terrible. But, talking to the Polish and German authorities and this and that, saying what's going on. And they start talking, and he starts saying something, and they ask me in German, so what do you say? He says, I don't know. I have no idea. He goes, why, is your German that bad? Can you not pronounce it? I don't understand his English. They said, what are you going to do about it? And this is all in German. He's watching this, like thinking that I'm translating for him. And I don't know why I said it. I just said, Kobayashi Maru. That is like the lose-lose situation. You can't win. They looked at me, they gave me the Vulcan hand sign and walked away. The sergeant thought I was brilliant, that I could translate. I didn't know anything. So I just kept my mouth. You know what I said to him? Huh. Alright, that's him. Alright, so then I don't know, I went to Heidelberg, and because I was studying over there for the year, and then there was a chance to go into Macedonia. I was like, that's cool, Alexander the Great, I'm going to go study this, Let's go, unit goes to Macedonia, it's peace there, fabulous. So I can drop on transport with the UN or whatever, or NATO, however we did, and we went there, and when we got there, we saw these volcanoes. We're in our military uniform. That's how we got the free transportation and everything. So we're in our military uniform, we see these volcanoes, and we're like, oh my god, it looks like hell. And so all the tourists go, Mike goes, man, you've been everywhere. Yeah.
I laughed.
That doesn't mean much.
Wait, did Dad laugh?
No.
All right.
No.
So I said, and then I find out that we're actually going to, Yugoslavia. And I was like, Yugoslavia isn't a country anymore. And they're like, wow, you know more than us. Oh, no. And then it brings me back to high school, where, right here we go. CZECHOSLOVAKIA, Czechoslovakia. I could not spell that worth a damn. I could never spell it on a test, I could never spell it on a quiz, so I got it wrong every time even though I knew the answer. Teacher made me write it 100 times. CZECHOSLOVAKIA. Now I can spell it. The week later, it stopped being a country. I was like, yeah, I hate geography. So, we're going to go over to Bosnia. I'm like, oh, this is what we need to know. This is exactly what we need to know. So, this is what we get. A following notice from the United Nations Peacekeeping Forces Introduction Memo. The briefing address will be held in the conference room, this headquarters in the afternoon. 2 days prior to departure. All in uniform will attend and be seated 15 minutes before the scheduled time, which will be communicated at arrival.
Hurry up and wait.
It left without us. Whatever. We still made it. This is what's great though. I knew Rosh Hashanah was coming up, and I'm not Jewish. My father is, and I said, Drill Sergeant says, anyone here Jewish? And I said to myself, I'm getting off for the holiday. So six of us raised their hand. And they're like, and we had off for Rosh Hashanah, and it was terrific. We had the day off, whatever, sightseeing, Bosnia, whatever. But the next week was Yom Kippur. So Drill Sergeant again yelled out, all Jewish personnel identify themselves. This time, everyone raised their hand. Then he yells out, only the personnel who were Jewish last weekend can qualify. Okay, all right. Okay, stationed in, I wasn't not fasting. I was a food tester. I had a great time. Did my job. All right, while I'm stationed in Bosnia, we launched an operation to collect leftover war weapons from civilians. So, after, particularly good haul from one house, the sergeant who was with us, started joking, said he'll be back later to pick up the tank. The guy got nervous all of a sudden. And then he comes back and he goes, behind us in the shed, he opens up and he had a T-55. We're like, we're taking this bad boy. Now, being in the medical unit, 1 out of every 3 of us got weapons. So we weren't armed at all. We were medical, so we're not supposed to be even shot at. But let me tell you, after this one haul, we were armed to the teeth. You could name it, we had it. Shot-off shotguns, this and that. And we were just shooting for fun because, we knew they were going to be destroyed. So it was the best time of our life. But then we had a problem because they looked at my records because my records fall behind because I wasn't supposed to even be there. I'm a student. So my records caught up with me and it told them I was Canadian. I'm dual citizenship. I'm also a U.S. citizen. But they didn't see that. So they said, you're a Canadian. I said, yes. They said, well, where's your green card? I was like, I'm a citizen. I don't need a green card. It says you're Canadian. Where's your green card? I said, I don't have a green card. They took my rifle from me and said, I'm non-combat because Canada is not participating in this occupation. I was like, are you shitting me? So I get to drive without a gun. That's all right. We had that big, tank and everything. I'm like, I'll make up for it. It wasn't so bad. So, all right. So, it was minor things. So we had to go aid a vehicle that ran out of gas. I'm like, okay. So we pack up with all this fuel and everything. So we'll just deliver. We're a medical unit, so no one's going to shoot us anyway, which is another story I'll tell you in a second. So we get to this vehicle, and we just start laughing because it was a fuel tank with, 2,200 liters of fuel, and it was empty on gas. I'm like, you have the fuel. Can't you just pump your own gas?
Jersey.
No. Yeah, I know. So, I'm riding shotgun, right? General roads, it's on the right side of the truck. Now, we're in a peaceful area, this and that, nothing bad happens. I actually got shot. I did not know this. I'm sitting in the side of a truck, 2.5, big metal door, and it went through the door into my thigh. It's funny to say I got shot in the ass, but I got shot in the thigh, but now it was just penetrated the door, it lightly went into me. I could pull it out with my own hand, but I wasn't aware of this. I thought a bee stung me. So I'm like, oh my God, a bee stung me. Alright, no big deal. But you know how you get that pain, you start tearing in your eyes? I'm like, if the guys catch me crying, a bee stung me. Oh shit, they're gonna make fun of me forever. So I had to hold it together. I'm like, hold it together. Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. And then you get stung, how you rub it? You start rubbing it, it hurts. And then I'm like, it's wet. Did I fucking pee myself? Oh shit! Oh no, I'm like mortified. And I see blood in my hand, I'm like, thank God! I'm a goddamn hero! Lucky me. Oh.
Defending America.
So, as a food taste tester, let me tell you something why I love white bread. Why I love white bread. So I'm eating the food there, and everything, and my jaw is killing me, and it hurts and everything. And I go see the dentist. You know, I thought like I have a toothache or pulled teeth, like the whole jaw is aching. Because, you know, there's several of us that have this stuff, like several, you know, soldiers. I said, what's up? He goes, stay away from the local bread. White bread it is. All right, so then, you know, my tour there's done. I go back to Germany, and when I get there, I forget the days. Now they have my schedule and everything, and every date I gave them, and this and that. So you know, they quizzed me, and they were like, "What happened June 6, 1944?" I said, "Normandy Beach, you know, D-Day." Okay. You know, what was the turning point of World War II? And I said, you know, Battle of the Bulge. I said, good. What is so important about May 18th? And I was like, I don't know. He goes, it's your fiance's birthday. I gotta die. All right, and the last thing is, before we get to Bosnia, we had to do hand signs because you know Vietnam movies, they tell you to do certain things with the hands, but things have changed since then. So here's some of the modern ones they still use, which I thought were kind of funny. Means I think I saw something. Okay. Do you mean me? Well, these are real, by the way. Looks clear. Speak up. Alright, there was another one. Oh. Start shaking the gun real hard. Something's wrong with the gun. Keep shaking until help comes. This is my stop. Shut up. Be quiet. I need more ammunition. That's a guy. Taliban.
Wow.
Really?
No, we got it.
Or Dan Torano.
He's a pansy. Television. Book. Oh shit, I think that was on our side. Almost dead.